this firm not have a local office?
They have a more local office in the Fountain area. Yes, they do.
Okay.
So Columbia's their headquarters, but they do have a local office in the Golden Strip.
Be aware of that. We looked at all that when we made a decision, but they wrote above the rest of them without a meeting.
Sure. Any other discussion? A motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries unanimous.
That's all we have to find at this time, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Discussion on Cultural Center Memorandum of Understanding, and I'm going to defer to Mr. Reynolds and to Mr. Eubanks. I think this is something that we're not going to vote on tonight. This is more for information and update.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate that. I actually was looking through the package and realized we were talking about having an executive session for this evening, but I don't think that's necessary.
Okay.
With that said, Mr. Eubanks, I want to turn it over to you and let you give us an update on where we're at with that.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. There's been some very good discussion between both the City Council and the Cultural Center Foundation Board heading towards a memorandum of understanding. By way of a little bit of background, last October, this council adopted bylaws associated with the Cultural Center and established how that foundation board would function. Now it's important to provide more of a defined role for both entities to play. As we work towards the memorandum of understanding, that's basically what we're trying to achieve. At the last Cultural Center Foundation board meeting, they reviewed again the list of proposed activities that this council has reviewed in the past, and I've also provided by way of review the Cultural Center Foundation Board Executive Director's memo concerning their position so far on the memorandum of understanding. Good input from the City Council to this point has raised some good questions about insurance, and we're waiting to get some more information from our provider. But we are looking to do that, and I'm certain that insurance is going to be a component of that memorandum of understanding. I know the goal is to try to get enough information to our city attorney so that an outline can be drafted for an MOU. With the attachments that we have in the council packet today is by way of review, and if there's further input, please forward those to Mr. Reynolds and myself, and ultimately I hope in the near future we ought to get what we have to the city attorney, and then John maybe get some further direction from you on what you need to draft an outline for a memorandum of understanding.
Two things I want to mention on this too. One is that as we have adopted St. George as a sister city, they've adopted us now. We will get a copy of that on our resolution. I talked to Ann Johnson, the mayor in Mauldin, pretty about that. They have $1 million facility in Lori Theater. So if you can Google it or get information about it, it's worthwhile to see what they've done. Having an exchange, cultural exchange of the two communities, boards, seeing each other and understanding how they work and where we're at in our process is going to be a real benefit for both communities. The other thing is that on Friday night, Mr. Eubanks, myself, Mr. Gardner, and a number of community residents were at the Cultural Center for the art show. The local high school had displayed a lot of good work. There was a good turnout for that, and it really excited a lot of folks about the fact that the Cultural Center is now moving in a cultural/civic direction, so you're getting both elements of that really brought forward, which is real positive. It'll enhance the relationship with the city and the school as we move forward. Designs on the auditorium were up, and comments were being able to be made by citizens at the time. And I think more of that's going to be happening for the Cultural Center Board. There is a real interest in having the two boards now work, the City Council and the Cultural Center Board, work closely together. So this memorandum of understanding is going to come with some very positive energies behind it as far as actions and things that are happening.
And if I could add to that too, with your packets, this is the board that the mayor described. Sorry, Mr. Rose, you could point that out. We're gonna have this, it's at the Cultural Center now. We're also gonna get a version of this at the Sports Center. We still have, close to 4,000 members, a lot of traffic through there, great opportunity for the public to see what's going on and provide input. Also, we want to get a copy of this, here at our City Hall, in our lobby here. There will be comment cards, the ability for public input on this, at those comment cards as well as online. And I know that this is an agenda item for the next Cultural Center Foundation Board meeting, and I think they're shaping up sometime this summer to bring the recommendation to this council on the design for renovations to the auditorium. So that's coming. And Mr. Mayor, if I could add too on the note of positive energy, within a month we expect the Clemson master plan, Clemson work on the master plan to get engaged again. The faculty is going to get started late this month again. The graduate students will be involved at this point. We've had the last few meetings have been very positive on the master plan for the Cultural Center. And that, so stay tuned. That's coming up within a month too.
I appreciate you bringing that up. Let me just say real quickly, those of you who don't know, Ms. Eubanks has done a lot of background work with this Cultural Center Foundation Board, but we don't really see a lot of them, see it when you're at the meetings and talking on the phone and watch it. Ms. Eubanks, we appreciate your background work and all the extra hours you're putting in on time there. One of the reasons I know he does that, and this is something we all agree on, is that this facility can essentially launch more in a direction that's good for the city and for the city residents. So sharing that vision is of course appreciated by council, and we appreciate all the work you're doing for that. There's nothing that we vote on tonight, but when do we look to have Mr. Duggan, a copy from Mr. Duggan, when we can start looking over the actual memorandum of understanding?
I'll be glad to work with the city attorney and follow him based off the information compiled today and input from both the Cultural Center Board and from the City Council. I expect with any day I'll get final information on insurance. This is a good question that was raised by our council and earliest discussion we've had on this. And I'll work with John later this week and see what else he may need and then communicate both to this council and the Cultural Center Board on what we need to do to shape up.
Mr. Campbell will not be in here tonight, but and he talked with Mr. Cook about and he'd rather go slow and get it right than go fast and have problems. So he has been very conscientious about not, even as impatient as his board is about having something. He's being very, very patient, and they're understanding the fact that he wants to do this in a very good way. So, okay.
One other question, Mr. Eubanks, on the school that you're talking about. I noticed in our memos, it was the same. We need to maybe look at that and that bring it back to our committee and let's discuss that before we get too deep into that.
We certainly can. Again, this is the April 21st memo that I just provided again, but I understand exactly what you're saying. I think through the last discussion we had, we need to look at what is going to go towards operations, what's going to go towards maintenance, what's going to go towards funding events. So a lot more discussion to nail that down, but I think some good ideas have been generated so far.
Don't let that slip in and make our answers understand it. We got it.
Okay.
Real quickly, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to see this, if possible, to come up, at least a draft outline of what Mr. Duggan would have something that we're thinking about in terms of where we're at with this by next meeting, if that's possible. And again, to follow up on what the mayor said about Greg being able to the foundation, the board being okay with moving, but slow and steady. It's kind of like a marathon, a day will never run. It's one step at a time, and we've got to go every step.
We've done that when it's kind of
We'll try to move on now. Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. Consideration and use of using the comp plan steering